Hello, my name is Usman Hassan and I'm currently enrolled in Beacon House Certificate of Google Cybersecurity. My roll number is f2022-003 and in this video or explanation I'm going to explain about the things I learned from Google Cybersecurity Professional Certificate. And the hurdles that I've overcome through learning this course. In this course there are 8 certificates or 8 courses in which I get to learn about troubleshooting, networking, security, and system administration. The first course is the Introduction to IT Support, setting the stage for understanding the roles and responsibility of IT professionals, uh, and the hardware and software troubleshooting basics. In this course, we learn how professional of Google cybersecurity do their jobs in their daily life and what hurdles they face in the day. In the first certificate of Google Cybersecurity, which is fundamentals of Google Cybersecurity, in which we get to learn about the frameworks and how we control them, and the guidelines and the measure used to protect organization from cyber threats. Framework like NIST offers structured approaches for managing risk while controlling help safeguard system and data, how we can secure our design, how we control our framework and compliance, how we protect sensitive data information, what are the ethics in cybersecurity, topics like privacy, confidentiality, and accountability, and what are the ethical concepts in cybersecurity. In which in every course they give us the practical assignment and test in which we get to test our abilities and what we have learned in the course, and they give us grade, and 70% I guess are the passing marks. uh, in this we explore the ethical dilemmas faced by cybersecurity professionals by handling privacy concerns, reporting security breaches, and responsibility disclosure of vulnerabilities. In the second certificate, which is Played Safe Managing Risk, which is managing risk management framework, which we get to learn about the CISSP's 8 security domains, which form foundations of cybersecurity professionals. It also includes the primary threats, risks, and vulnerabilities that impact businesses, operations, and explore the NIST Risk Manager Framework, also known as RMF, which used for managing risk effectively, in which we get to learn about how security domains, key area of knowledge for cybersecurity analysis, which includes security risk management, asset security, security architecture and engineering, and subject like these. These domains are basically for defining the skill needed to safeguard system, network, and data. They tell us about how we can prevent threats, risks, and vulnerabilities, and any sort of harm which any cyber attack or natural disaster can do to a system, and how we can lower our probability of risk by using effective methods in business operations, how we can lower our weaknesses in a system that could be exploited by threats, and subject like these are given an overview in this second certificate. Moving on to the third certificate of the course, in which they focus on the network security and its relation to ongoing threats and vulnerabilities, and how we can secure network architectures. We get to explain our key concept in network design, communication, and in the tools used to protect networks. Uh, there's pretty much readings and videos about how what are the networks basic and securities for networks, and what are networks, and they get to the concept of network which allow the device to communicate and share resources, in which we get to know how networks form a backbone of businesses and personal communication. In this module, in this course, you also get to learn about how we about the network tools, the component and devices that are used to protect networks from threats, in which firewalls, intrusion detection systems, and encryption methods are being told. For example, another niche in which cloud networks are being explained, in which they tell us about how cloud computing explores how cloud-based systems are structured and secure, and the security measures that apply in these environments include the software-defined networks. How TCP and IP and OSI models work, and what are the what are the vulnerabilities that prevent them from cyber threats. These models are essential for understanding how communication flows between devices. The four layers of TCP and IP are being explained here, which are link, internet, transport, and application. They describe how data is packed and transmitted over networks. And in OSI model, the 7 layers of this model describe the step data that goes through from physical layer to application layer. In this course, they also told us about the IP address and communications, uh, in which they explain the IP address is the unique identifier for the devices on a network and how they used for routing data between devices across local and wide area networks. In this course, we get to learn about the malicious actors, exploit vulnerabilities in network infrastructure, and how cybersecurity professionals can detect and mitigate these threats. What are the type of network attacks and how we can prevent them? For example, denial of services attacks, in which we get to learn about the overwhelmed system causing the system disruptions and how we use secure networks against them. And there's a system called DDoS attack, in which the multiple systems are used to target single network, and how we can use a single network to prevent that attack. Malicious packet sniffing and IP spoofing are also being described here, and how we can prevent spoofing from being happening. Thus, this section covers how attackers intercept network traffic using packet sniffing tools and how they fake IP address in an IP spoofing attack. In which we get to learn about the interruption tactics, in which the packet sniffing and man in the middle attacks interrupts the communication to steal or alter the data. Moving on to the next course. In this course, it focuses on understanding and the relationship between the operating system and hardware and software, exploring how operating system functions and learning about the most common system in use today. You will understand how a GUI, graphical user interface, and a command line interface work, and how command line was an obsolete model and how a GUI replaced it, which we used in common in Windows and other operating system like Linux. It gives the overview of operating system, learning the primary functions of operating system, including managing hardware resources, software execution, and user interface. How we compare our different operating system, and how Windows, Linux, and Mac OS are different, and how different strategy used for different operating system. What are their strengths and their weaknesses, their use cases. What are the insides of operating system, uh, how resources allocation work. You will learn the OS allocation system, how CPU and memory are used in different operating systems. What are GUI and CLI, graphic user interface and command line interface, and how these two interfaces explain their advantages and disadvantages in different contexts. In this module, we get to learn about the Linux and Bash shell. In module, we introduce to Linux commands through the Bash shells. You will learn how to navigate the Linux file system, and how we manage files and authorize and authenticate user using common commands. How we navigate file manage system, and how Linux file system is completely different from a Windows file system. Commands like cd, ls, and cat are explored to manage the directories and read file contents. How we use search file within directories and understand filtering options, such as using grep to filter content from files. How we manage directories and files. A different topic like mkdir and rmtouch are being used, how we modify our files and create and delete them. What are file permissions and how we use command like chmod and choun to alter them, and the crucial role to accessing their files. What are user management in the Linux system and how Linux is a necessity for using cybersecurity. How we can delete and modify existing users. Command like user add or user more are being used in this system. Moving on to the certificate 5, which is Introduction to Asset Security. In this module, we focus on how organizations identify and protect their assets, how they protect their physical and digital assets, and you will learn the classification that play a critical role in securing sensitive data and systems. We explore the relationship between risk management and asset security, emphasizing the importance of understanding which assets needs protection. We get to learn about asset clarification, risk, threat, and vulnerabilities, and what are the what is digital and cloud securities. What are digital assets? For example, what they do in at rest and what they do in transit, and how they should be handled securely. In cloud security, we explore the emergence of cloud security and need to how it is needed for new strategies to protect cloud-based assets. The NIST cybersecurity firmware used. Now we learn about NSIT system guidelines and how it is widely used to set guidelines for securing digital assets and managing risk effectively. What are the risk scoring and what are the security plannings, and how it is based on the likelihoods and severity of determine how critical they are. What are the security level needed for risk scoring, and how we develop a security plan. What is vulnerability management and how we manage them, and how the threats exploit them and how we can prevent them. What are the management processes for exploiting these which are exploiting these vulnerabilities being used in management resources, which includes identifying and assessing and addressing weaknesses and assets to prevent attacks. What are the defense used for depth strategies, and what involves implementing multiple layers of security to protect systems and data. How we approach and ensure that if one layer is breached, other will stay protected. We learn about the common vulnerabilities and exploits and their frequently targeted by attackers. What are the top 10 list, and there which outlines most critical security risks for web applications. In this certificate, they introduce us to SQL injections and cross-site scripting. We learn about the vulnerabilities, scanning tools, and techniques to prevent testing methods of testing system and security by simulating real-world attacks. How we can develop an attacking mindset, which is crucial for understanding how vulnerabilities can be exploited. We learn about how attacker thinks and how we can identify potential paths through defenses. What are the type of threat actors? We learn about different type of cyber attackers, including hackers, cyber criminals, and insiders, and how they exploit vulnerabilities. In this certificate, they give you to examine real world attacker vectors like brute force attacker and USB drive exploits. Moving on to the next certificate, which is Introduction to Incident Response Lifecycle, in which they introduce us to the incident response lifecycle and a series of structured steps cybersecurity professionals follow to detect, access, and respond to security incidents. What are the key stages which includes identification, containment, eradication, and recovery. We learn about the incidents, how response life cycles applies to various attack scenarios such as phishing, also known as voice phishing, how a response team responds to them, and how within a response team what are the common commonalities used, how it emphasizes on communication and collaboration during an incident. Incident response requires coordination between technical staff, management, and legal team to ensure an effective response. And in this course, we get to learn about the incident response plans, in which we discover the importance of having incident response plans in places. These plans guide the response process, ensuring that team can react quickly and efficiently. How if attack prevents a system, how we can respond to that, and what are the tools used by the team. How we explore the key tools used in incident detection and response, such as intrusion detection system (IDS), and the system how the system help us identify malicious activities on network or systems. What are the detection tools and the documentation tools? We learn about the SEIM, security information and event management systems, and security orchestration or automation and response tools, which helps us to alert and alert in if attack occurs. We cover the critical stages of incident detection, investigation, analysis, and response of a life cycle of cybersecurity event. We learn how to identify and investigate suspicious activities, and how we analyze files, hashes, and understand the importance of documentation in the incident response process. And what are the detection and analysis phase? How methods are used to identify threat early. We explore the indicators of compromises, such as unusual network traffic or abnormal system behavior, which signals potential security breaches. We explore the documentation best practices, how it is effective and a vital part throughout which incident response process. We understand how to document evidence using chain of custody form to maintain the integrity of collected data for further analysis or legal processes. What are the triag processes, and learn of how we learn the role of triag in the incident response, which involves quick assessing the severity and impact of an incident, ensuring that critical issues that prioritized. And what are the phases? To explore different departments in which IT and legal management teams cover these threats, and how they work together to address the incident. Um, what are the containment, eradication, and recovery processes, in which life cycle includes containments, eradication, and recovery? We learn that business continuity and the step necessary to minimize the downtime during these phases. Moving on to the next certificate, which is the seventh and second last certificate of this course, in which we get to learn about the Python programming language and its application in cybersecurity, in which we explore the foundational concept in Pythons, including data types, variables, conditional statements, and iterative statements, which are essential for writing effective Python scripts, which are key essentials for cybersecurity tasks. Python is widely used in cybersecurity for tasks like automation, data analysis, and script security tools. We learn is Python is a go-to language for cybersecurity professionals, and how we can set up Python and what Python data type are being used. We learn how to assign and reassign variables in Python and hold and manage data by them. What are the conditional statement in Python? What is the syntax of Python? What is the logic of Python, and how Python helps in prevention of data? We learn about the loops, which are used to repeat actions, and explore these iterative statements and practice use them to iterate over data and perform repetitive tasks in Python. We also get to learn about the strings and lists in Pythons, which introduces us to regular expression for searching patterns in strings. We can also write how we can also write a simple algorithm and explore these concepts used in context of cybersecurity. We learn the list is used in how we can use lists in Python, and how the list operations such as adding, removing, and modifying element within a list are being used in cybersecurity using Python. We apply our knowledge of list and string to develop simple algorithms. These algorithms are used to process data such as sorting or filtering, which can be useful in security related tasks like data analytics. What are the regular expressions and why are these powerful tools are used for search used to search for patterns in strings? How to use regex to match a specific task, and how we used match specific how we use email addresses and IP addresses or file hashes which are common in cybersecurity tasks like logs analysis or patterns recognition. Moving on to the last certificate of this Google cybersecurity course, in which we explore the wider role that security professional plays in protecting an organization assets, data, and overall security posture. We learn about the importance of detection, escalation, and how these practices contribute to maintaining robust security in the workplace. Uh, how we can use security as a mindset, how we understand how it is important of what are the importance of security awareness at every level of an organization, the mindset which is crucial for identifying potential vulnerabilities and securing assets which are both digital and physical. What are the data and asset classification, and how data and assets are categorized, and why this is essential for prioritizing security measures? What are the classification which helps a security professional decide how to protect information based on insecurity on its sensitivity and importance to organization? How we can prevent disasters, and how we can recover business continuity, and what are how real life experiences and real life stories can help us protect our data, and real world implementations can gain how we can gain insight into practical challenges security professionals face when securing data and assets in various environments. We learn about the importance of stakeholders in cybersecurity and how to communicate effectively with them. We cover various aspects of stakeholder roles and responsibility, which is how and the importance of clear, concise communication in cybersecurity contacts us to prevent threats from different attackers. What are the key stakeholders in cybersecurity, and understand their roles and responsibilities, and how it includes internal teams like IT management and external parties such as customer, vendors, and regulators. We explore the principle of clear and conscious communication in cybersecurity, practically how to simplify complex technical information for non-technical stakeholders, ensuring that the key points are understood and actionable. How we can visualize our storytelling in cybersecurity, and what are the effective ways to communicate cybersecurity data and incident to stakeholders, and how we can use visual representation which can make complex data more accessible, and help convey significance of security issues. In the last of this certificate, we learn how to create or update our resume to highlight our cybersecurity skills and experiences. When what are the tips to finding and applying for jobs and are also provided. Thanks for listening for of my explanation of this course. Hope you find this video helpful. My name is Usman Hassan. My roll number is f2022-003. Signing out.